Ladies and gentlemen, as patron of the Royal Flying Doctor Service Friends in the UK, I am delighted to welcome you all this evening to this gala dinner to mark a rather special milestone. I need hardly say that I am continually impressed by the wonderful work the RFDS undertakes and its incalculable impact on people's lives. Of course, the work carried out in Australia would not be possible without the support of its friends in the UK. As we celebrate the great achievements that the service has accomplished over the past 90 years, I find myself reflecting on my own experience of the Flying Doctor. Seeing its work at first hand, I have always been full of admiration for the ingenuity, professionalism, and sheer perseverance displayed by the men and women who work for it. I can say that this belief was more than strengthened during my most recent visit to Australia in April. I was fortunate enough to have had the opportunity then to visit a Royal Flying Doctor Service base in Cairns, where I met so many dedicated doctors and operational staff. What struck me most on meeting these extraordinary individuals was the sheer selflessness with which they carried out their responsibilities. I just wanted you to know that speaking to patients about their experiences with the service made me incredibly proud to be associated with an organisation that has benefited so many people's lives. Now, I know that everyone gathered here this evening is well aware of just how important a role the RFDS plays in the Australian healthcare system. If I may say so, I would suggest that it plays an even greater role in Australia's national identity. That has certainly been my experience during my 17 visits to different parts of rural and remote Australia since I first came as a schoolboy to study at Timbertop in 1966. For nearly a century, the Flying Doctor has provided a golden thread bringing together the concepts and reality of outback and community. It has offered a wonderful example of the quintessentially Australian idea of mateship, which through the Flying Doctor lends a hand to far-flung strangers in peril on isolated cattle stations and in Aboriginal communities, as well as to close friends, neighbours and workmates in times of need. The RFDS epitomises this Australian willingness to help others, even when doing so requires travelling to some of the most remote and difficult to reach places in Australia. I am very aware of the many and varied challenges faced by the service in delivering their top quality care in the most difficult of circumstances. Its role continues to change as it now delivers vital primary and preventative healthcare programs, including fly-in general practice clinics and dental programs. In addition to its emergency work, the service also transports patients in need of life-saving organ transplants. These, ladies and gentlemen, are just some of the multitude of healthcare programs the RFDS provides to more than 300,000 people a year. Indeed, implementing all this over an area of 7.13 million square kilometres is literally a mind-boggling feat. Ladies and gentlemen, if I may, I would particularly like to mention what I believe is an often overlooked and underappreciated aspect of the Royal Flying Doctor Service's work, and that is their persistent efforts in supporting and promoting mental health. The physical and geographical remoteness of many people living in rural Australia leaves them particularly vulnerable to feelings of isolation in times of need. It comes as no surprise, therefore, that suicide rates amongst Australian farmers are devastatingly high compared to the general population, particularly at a time like this when parts of the country are suffering the worst drought in living memory. The work that the service carries out in promoting and providing mental health services, just like all other aspects of his operations, is therefore absolutely vital. Now, I can only end this message, ladies and gentlemen, by emphasising how proud I am to serve as patron of the RFDS Friends in the UK. The tireless commitment of all those who play a part in ensuring the continued success of the service is truly exceptional, and I am enormously grateful to you all for your immense generosity and support as we approach the centenary of this unique Australian national treasure.